bang, sacrificed on move 14, but if you come at the chess king, you best not miss. Jeffrey Xiong, the American Grandmaster, playing black in this one, and with the white pieces, it's magnum opus. He opens up the game here, entitled Tuesday, late August 2025, online chess drama with pawn to h3. As every Norwegian schoolboy knows, always play something weird in a game of blitz chess. Jeffrey goes principled with this one. Magnus meets him halfway, and now we get one of those beautiful sights in all of chess. They both love their country walks. It's a horse box. Awesome sight to behold. The bishop develops now with a whoosh, and Magnus actively encourages the shattering of his structure. Jeffrey obliges, and he wins himself a pawn. But this is what Magnus has got planned. He picks up his noble steed and crashes through on e5. This gets the brilliancy from Sir Stock Squiddington, because after captures, this is the follow-up. And you're going to win back one of those horses, but be careful which one you munch, because if you go for this one, then you just blundered the game, and you really need to get out to the corner, practice some lines. I will not blunder, I will not blunder. If you'd have done this, you run into this rook move, not only hitting the queen, but if she moves, then you hit the king behind. You're running into all sorts of carnage just like this. So this is the one to munch. And now you could go rook e8 here. Then the follow-up from white is bishop e3. And actually, there aren't any good discoveries that the queen can't cover by herself. Therefore, this is the strongest move. You're actually offering a pony, so it gets the exclams once more, but of course you can't take, or you run into this again and you lose the lady. So queen d4 was played. The seahorse was spawned. Powerful move, because you pick up a tempo on the queen and you open the line of check to the king. How can white play like this? Well, if you do this straight away, you can actually block with this bishop. And because castles is on the way, d4 just ain't cutting the mustard. Actually, white's doing well. This pawn's going to drop. So we didn't see the check. Instead, we get pawn d4. A decisive punch through the center if you don't know what you're doing. But Magnus understands he can capture that pawn. Didn't have time to yet develop bishops and castles, so he does have to take the plunge here, run the gauntlet, and after queen takes, offering an exchange against the goat of the chess endgame, Brave, we don't see Magnus take. If you do, well, the knight hops in. Now it's technically playable, but black does get a tasty initiative. Here's one sample, and okay, game goes on, roughly level. White even a little better, but not how Magnus wanted to proceed. Unusual for him. He pushes a pawn, doesn't chop the queens off, walks into a check, and now do not block with the bishop, or smack, bang, wallop. You just Botez gambited. Shame on you. The move to play is bishop e2. And although you block the check, the pressure remains for black. You could do it with queen d3. You could drop back with queen d5. Roughly level, but white's got to be careful. If takes, of course, now you're in a position to recapture. But we don't see a queen move. It's attacked by a pawn. Instead, we see the epic rook takes on e2. Taking that fight to Magnus. Now, as you can see, Ival Barovich does not approve, gives white a significant advantage, but you got to prove it. This queen now drops back, pressuring a pawn, and this is one of the challenges with the sacrifice. You're not yet attacking with the whole army, and it takes time. Magnus has time to consolidate, run with the king. Bishop f5 played, converging on the square, king f2, knight e5 goes for a monster fork over here, but all under control. Magnus's best is to step back here, but he does not find it. He centralizes the queen, and it's actually a mistake, because now the check can be landed. The king steps up the board here, and after queen e6, keeping them on the board. Suddenly the white queen is a target in the center of the board. This is a real octopus. Bad arrow. Whoopsie. These are underdeveloped here. There is real pressure for black. And Magnus makes it worse now by not going b4 to fight against this pawn push, supported by the knight. He goes for this one. But now the advance of the c-pawn picks up another vital tempo. Queen e3. Suddenly Magnus wants that exchange. It's where he's at his most comfortable. But Jeffrey, not obliging, checks the king, and you could play pawn to f4 to block that check. Even gives the king a bit of extra room, arguably, although watch out for the bishop in some lines, but not played. Instead, Magnus plays the swashbuckling queen to f4 on a square where the knight can take it. I mean, we've not seen a move this epic since Magnus Carlsen decided he wanted to move into the side quest of goat rearing. Now, if you take that queen, then white takes here and is doing really well because the knight's hanging, has to go somewhere, and then white consolidates and is ultimately an exchange ahead. So let's run back here. We didn't see knight takes. Queen takes is getting you nowhere. Then the bishop captures, and okay, white's still an exchange up. So instead we saw queen e6. This queen now dives into c7, and the point is you remain in control of the dark squares from the checks, and you pressure this pawn on b7, potentially the king. So the way black should play is very actively with rook c8. It's powerful because you decoy the queen to a light square, then you can start looking at checks. In some lines you push the pawn, bring the rook, start trying to hunt this king. There is real pressure and counterplay. This rook's not playing, but not played in the game. Jeffrey immediately goes rook e8. Magnus now gets a chance to put on his running shoes, and after pawn h6, bishop f4, this bishop looking a bit precarious because this one's defended it. Could it be kicked away? But it's actually okay. The queen finds a home here if needed. Bishop and queen converging nicely. So in the game, queen b3 was desperately tried, going after the backwards pawn, but now I love this move. Magnus, cool and calm. The force is strong with this one. Plays r2, d2. And if you know that robot, don't tell Hikaru. He's still stuck trying to name him. This is the one he just can't get.
h5 d2, h5 d2, h5 d2, h5 d2, h5 d2, c5, h5 d5, e1.
So the pawn is covered. It's Jeffrey to move. He kicks this queen once more. She saves herself, centralized, and probably best here is knight takes on b2. Not played, however. We see this mini rook lift, but it's a big mistake. You can now check from the back rank, exploiting the weakness of the last move, and then with the knight not firmly cemented by the pawn, you can simply play rook takes on d3. And Jeffrey resigned the game here because bishop captures, queen takes with check, and you're just getting smashed. A bishop down, pawns are level, it's all she wrote. A short and sweet one today. If you want to get stuck into a meaty game, some calling it the game of the year, then have a look at the incredible video on screen. Hope you enjoy and see you soon. Cheers.